For our Week 8 wideout of the week, you guys voted on DK Metcalf, and I have to agree. 12 for 161, 2 touchdowns. Metcalf now sits 4th in the NFL in receiving, only 25 yards behind the league leader. Metcalf is split wide to the left of the formation for his 3rd reception of the day here. He's going to be running a 10-yard dig versus access. He's got cushion at breakpoint. One thing that he has done really at an elite level all season is attacking in his vertical stem. His size and speed, when he maintains body language in that stem, providing no indicators prior to breakpoint, he's as dangerous as anybody in the league. Now his stem paired with a sudden drop of weight or sink of hips creates a separation here. Breakpoint could be a little bit cleaner, and we'll dive into that later. But let's discuss what makes him so unique, some shades of Julio Jones here. His agility and ability to problem solve after the catch as a ball carrier is off the charts. He identifies his path to the end zone is closing. 2 defenders, as you'll see here, start to close the gap. So he effortlessly sticks his left foot in the ground to avoid those 2 defenders prior to getting width to the sideline, accelerating to the end zone. And he gets a great block to spring him. As we had just mentioned, does a great job in his vertical stem, and there are certainly some energy leaks and inefficiencies in his breakpoint. You'll see him gain a lot of ground in his breakpoint, ultimately closing that separation created by the stem. He'll rise up prematurely. Ideally, we want to enter and exit out of a breakpoint at the same height, and he'll bring his eyes out of his break a bit early. Now, this is just couch critiquing. Anybody behind a computer can critique this. It does not make it a bad route. His growth as a route runner has been really awesome to watch this season, and I'm excited to see him continue to grow. Sure, he could have stayed on his path directly to the end zone. Sometimes we as wideouts just have to be athletes and do what we do. It's a great play on his first touchdown of the day. A little bit of everything here. Vertical stem, drop of weight, yards after the catch, just being an athlete. Metcalf is aligned at the bottom of your screen for his 4th reception of the day. This one got me fired up, I'm not going to lie. Perhaps one of the trendiest routes right now is going to be running a blaze out by Shanahan terms. This is just a post out. Difficult route to run. He's doing so against a really good corner. Jason Verrett's been playing really good ball. A few things must happen on the blaze out. Metcalf does all of them pretty well. We had mentioned how dangerous he is in his vertical stem. He attacks prior to the single pressure step to the post. No choppy strides, no loss of speed as he breaks to the post. Now he's going to snap his head and eyes to the quarterback to pull the DB inside with him on his post stem due to the threat of the ball being thrown as he snaps. Now this is the part that is the most impressive. How suddenly and violently he can drop his weight here before breaking back out to the sideline. Very few guys in the planet that can do this at his size. To be honest with you, there's only one that comes to mind. We already mentioned him. Julio has almost made this route famous. He ran it a few years ago against Tampa Bay and against Philly. The craziest thing about this route, is really that it could be even more efficient. And we had mentioned before he's grown a ton as a route runner, and I think he's going to continue to grow. The steps here after the initial drop are equally as important as that snap down or trigger step that initiate the break. Every step matters. Every time our foot hits the ground, it matters. Just a little bit more force on the ground with each step following that snap down or trigger step will make for a more efficient deceleration, ultimately a cleaner break point, more urgent exit. However, absolutely exceptional display of route running from Metcalf. He's truly pushing to be considered an elite receiver in today's game. One last thing I want to note is how he finishes friendly or negative to the quarterback. You'll see he exits this blaze out at the 48-yard line. Should he stay flat down that line, this ball is going to be intercepted or broken up because of the exceptional transition from the DB. The DB here is at the 50-yard line at the reception point. So should Metcalf have stayed flat, he would have stayed at the 48 waiting for the ball. This is incomplete at the very minimum. Metcalf maintains the yard or so of separation here by running back downhill to the reception rather than staying flat to the sideline where he exited. Does not allow the DB to eat up that separation created by the route. Finishes negative. On his 5th reception of the day, he's aligned at the bottom of your screen. He's going to be running a vert or go ball here. There's slight detail in the release to be discussed. He's working a speed release, but prior to doing so, he's going to use a bit of a hezzy hop or skip to eat up space between himself and the DB. Now, when he exits to his speed release, there's less space between himself and the corner, which makes it easier for Metcalf to win vertical. We say it so often, space is time for the DB. The less space between us, the less time he has to react to what release tool we use. We'll then notice Metcalf doesn't worry about locating the football until he's about 15 yards downfield. So eliminates any chance of him slowing down due to tracking the ball early. He accelerates past the DB for a big completion. Real quick, where we decide to track the football should often pair up with our reception area. When we know it's coming further down the field, there's no reason to track early. We really want to drive, we want to sprint. We'll worry about tracking the ball as we get closer to the reception area. Aligned at the top of your screen here for his second touchdown of the day. Not a lot to dive into here. He'll be running a slant off play action down by the goal line. You'll see him tempo his slant off the ball, and we'll discuss why when we go back to the all-22. The main reason Metcalf doesn't want to run this slant as a normal slant is because it has to pair up with the timing of the play action. Should he burst inside here in a bit of a hurry, the two backers can negatively impact the throwing window because Metcalf will be too far across the field by the time Wilson's ready to throw. However, since Metcalf is patient, almost acting as if he's taking a play off due to run away from him, when he bursts to the slant, the backers don't have a chance to make a play on the throw. Now the tempo he uses ends up putting the DB on his back at catch point. Metcalf uses his big frame, extends his arms to catch the ball away from his body. This prevents the DB from playing through his hands and breaking it up. Some other receivers may look to create a bit more separation in this exact situation. However, it is not a necessity for Metcalf to do that due to his anthropometrics. He's a bigger body, wider frame, longer arms. Once he puts the DB on his back, they're at the disadvantage. Just something to remember that not all receivers win the same ways. It's a nice job by Metcalf here finishing for the touchdown. And that'll do it for our Week 8 Wideout of the Week. Really appreciate you guys tuning in as always. This is Metcalf's second time as our Wideout of the Week with the Wideout Spotlight. Really excited to continue to see him grow throughout his career and really throughout this season. Seems like he's getting better every week.